Welcome to Italianness on the Margins. I'm Dr Gabriele Paleari. In this episode, we are going to Istria. If Gaul has the village of Asterix, in Slovenia there is a school that had to first resist, if not against the Romans, at least against the bullies, in order to exist. This way, the school that was not supposed to exist contributed to revising history. At school, they teach that history is written by the powerful, who impose themselves on the humble. But young and old know that, in a well-known comic strip, the inhabitants of a small village in Gaul keep the Roman conquerors at bay. If not quite like in Asterix, in a tiny village in present-day Slovenia, a stone's throw from the Italian border, the decisions of the powerful did not make history. The events took place after the Second World War, south of Trieste. If there were no Romans and Gauls to contend for a piece of land, there was Tito's Yugoslavia and the Allies. Actually, the Romans had built a few cities there. Then came the Venetians, the Austrians, and after the First World War, the area came under Italy. In 1947, an international treaty divided the territory into two areas called Zone A and Zone B. The former was protected by the Allies, the latter was assigned to Yugoslavia. Later in 1954, the borders of the two zones were revised and the southwestern portion of Zone A, south of the Italian town of Muggia, changed hands in exchange for a somewhat smaller strip of Zone B. Beyond the historical decisions made by the powerful, history books seem to have forgotten about the village of Asterix, Cravatini or Crevatini, and a community that ignored the laws made by the bullies to open a school. In addition to the division between states, international agreements provided for a division of schools. On the one hand, schools for Yugoslavs, on the other for Italians. This was because the educational programs were not, according to the regulations, to interfere with the national character of the pupils. Given the difficult times, everyone complied with the provisions. Or rather, almost everyone. In spite of the divisions, some had the idea of ignoring international treaties and defying decisions imposed from above. The treaties had established a clear list of schools, but in the small village of San Colombano, which later lost its sanctity more at the behest of the communist authorities than the impiety of its inhabitants, someone thought it best to open not a school, but a room in a Slovenian school for Italian pupils. Then they moved to another nearby village, Cravatini or Crevatini, on a hill with a wonderful view of the sea. The fact is that, more than for the beautiful view, international law continued to be broken to ensure the preservation of indigenous Italian cultures in a portion of the territory of present-day Slovenia. There were few children and, at a certain point, there were only two pupils, including the teacher's daughter. After years of hardship, in which the building that housed the school was sold off to buy toilet paper for the surrounding schools, in 1994, the school that was not supposed to exist slowly began to attract children. With the advent of the new millennium, the school that was not supposed to exist had become the lifeblood of the Italian community in Crevatini. Perhaps due to the Bora wind blowing over the Gulf of Trieste, the school's fame crossed the border. At the turn of the millennium, despite the border between Italy and Slovenia, in the Italian town of Muggia, south of Trieste, some parents tried to send their children to the school designed for the Italian minority in Slovenia. The experiment worked, and the school, which had been set up to keep the Italian community of Crevatini or Crevatini alive in 2003, even before Slovenia joined the European Union, began welcoming children from Italy. And in less than 20 years, the reputation of the school that was not supposed to exist has contributed to the success of a community that has never given up. And if the lives and fortunes of the teachers and children did not go exactly the way of the Asterix stories, the magic potion, or rather the iron will of a small but determined community, proves that history is not only written by the powerful, but also by the humble. That's it. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video.